What's the most fucked up thing you've ever consciously done and regretted? This is going to be an embarrassing story to tell. This is not. I'm not relishing telling this story, but look. What am I going to do? Am I going to be untruthful? It's the whole point of this is to be candid. Excuse me. When I was 16 years old, on the internet, there was this website called M-Player, the letter M Player. And it was a video game-based website that would allow people to play multiplayer games together and have voice chat. Nowadays, voice over IP, things like TeamSpeak and all that, it's a foregone conclusion in video gaming. But this was new. Being able to chat over the internet via voice with somebody you're playing a game with was huge. And it wasn't just a gaming community. There were all these little voice chat rooms that would spring up. And one of the ones that really took off was called a fight room. And this is where people would go in and insult each other, say things to each other. It was almost like the beginnings for me of what the internet really is, which is a bunch of people saying a bunch of shit to people that if they were like in person, they'd never say. You know what I mean? And that's what this fight room was all about. And little personalities started to shine out in this fight room. The more I went to it, the more I started to learn about people. And there was one chick that would go to these fight rooms, and her name was Meredith. And she was an asshole. I mean, she was so good at this whole fight room thing, and so was I. And what you should know about me, too, is at 16, I sounded like I sound now. My voice dropped. When I was 12, like I went from, a squeaker, one day, and I came to school one day, and I was like, hey, guys, want to go out on the playground? And that was it. You know what I mean? So at 16 years old, I sounded like an adult. This timbre of voice is what I had basically at 16. So everybody in the room started to get to know who I was because I was a huge fucking asshole. And I would, we called it capping on people or ragging on people or busting on people. And I would just murderously assault people and fuck on them in this chat room. And this other girl and I started talking outside of the chat room because we were both real assholes. And then we found out, when we actually got to talking, we were actually pretty nice people. And, God, this is embarrassing. We started an internet relationship. I know. Trust me, I know. And so, now here's the problem. When we started to get to know each other, she tells me she's a 28-year-old woman. And I, at this point, was a 16-year-old man, or boy. And I knew that if I told her, hey, I'm 16, she would have been like, peace. So I made up this ridiculous story, and I'm talking the worst fucking lie that was ever told to anybody on the internet, ever. I told her I was from New York, and I was 23 or 24 years old, and that I was living in California with relatives of mine. Anyway, we started this internet relationship, and I was, to be honest with you, she was being completely truthful, and she backed it up every way. She said she lived in Arizona, or not Arizona, in Alaska. She was married, which was totally cool in as a 16-year-old. I'm like, I'm internet fucking somebody else's wife. Looking back on it, it was probably a horrible thing to do. And having been cheated on, God, I feel bad about that. I regret that because that's fucked. It is cheating. What we did was definitely cheating. And she would give me, he had this military phone card. And we eventually graduated from the internet and started calling each other. And she had this military phone card of his, and she gave me the number. And it was basically unlimited long distance for military people. And I would use it all the time to call her in Arizona. And we started really talking a lot, and then that led to, it led to cyber sex. God, I hate that fucking term. And I hate even more the fact that I did it and apparently was really good at it. And I'm not a writer. You should know that about me. I'm much more, I don't write my videos typically. And when I try and write something, I heard TJ the other day in his answer video talking about the fact that talking and writing are two different things for him, and he can always encapsulate his thoughts much better on the written page. I'm the exact opposite. I can speak my thoughts really well, but when I sit down and try and write, it's horrible. But apparently, I'm Don Juan at that cybersex shit. Woo! She loved it. And then after we started calling each other, that graduated into phone sex, which for a 16-year-old kid, and she'd sent me pictures of herself, and I was savvy enough on the internet to know that she maybe really didn't look like this. So I made her write my username on a piece of paper and hold it up, and I guess it could have been, but Photoshop wasn't real prevalent back then. And she was a really good-looking woman. I mean, way the fuck out of a 16-year-old fat, pimply kids league by far. And this is so fucked up. Fuck it, I'm going it. She asked for a picture of me. I sent her a picture of Chino Moreno, who is the lead singer of the Deftones, which was one of my favorite bands back then. I found all these candid pictures of him somewhere on the internet, and I sent her those. And so she thought I was Chino Moreno from the Deftones. God damn, what a fucking idiot. See, this is why this question. And so we're having phone sex, which is the coolest thing in the world for a 16-year-old kid. Just amazing. But as time went on, she started to develop these really deep feelings for me. And I couldn't develop that same level of feeling for her because I knew the entire thing was based on a lie on my end, that I was completely lying. And I knew that I had to end this at some point, but at this point she had my home, I had my own phone line in my room downstairs at my dad's house. So I had my own phone number. She had that. I didn't want to have to explain to my dad, I got to change my phone number because I gave my phone number to some woman on the internet who's been, you know what I mean? So I'm fucked. So it's one lie begat another lie, begat another lie, begat another lie, to the point where I'm swimming in this ocean of lies. And I had told her my first name, and somehow she figured out my last name. And maybe I told it to her, I don't know. And she looked it up, and I have the same first name as my dad. I'm a junior. I'm Paul Jr., right? And so she had my first and last name, and so I at one point decided this is getting too crazy. I stopped taking her phone calls. I put my phone on silent and shit. Didn't talk to her online anymore. And so that happened for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden my dad comes wandering down the stairs at 2 a.m. in his underwear and a wife beater. And I'm out on the back porch with my friends, smoking and talking, and he comes downstairs with the phone. By the way, not only did I send her a picture of Chino Moreno, but I told her my name was Trent, which was an obvious nod to Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, which was another big favorite of fucking retard. Anyway, my dad comes downstairs, sleepy as fuck, angry, wife beater, skivvies, tighty-whities, and goes, "Is there a fucking Trent here?" And I was like, yeah. I grabbed it, and he's like, tell this woman not to fucking call here anymore. Tell her you have your own number. And he hands me the phone, and what do you do? You know what I mean? What do you do at this point? Most of you probably said you come clean. No. I got on the phone and made my voice a little higher than it was usual and pretended to be Trent's cousin who lived in the same house. And I was like, oh yeah, Trent, I haven't seen him in a few days. Completely perpetuated the lie, and for whatever reason, she bought it. This relationship went on way too long. It was like a year and a half. And the way that it finally ended was that, and this is, the whole thing I regret, but this is the really big regret. She calls me one day crying, and she said, I just left my husband. And I said, oh, fuck. And she said, I left my husband, and she said, I've got family that live in California. I'm coming to California. Here's where I'm going to be. I want you to come see me. I left my husband. I couldn't do it anymore. She's like, I don't know that you and I are going to work out, but I want to try it. So please come and see me, blah, 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 blah. And that was the last time I heard from her. I didn't show up. And so, yeah. That's probably the most fucked up thing I've ever consciously done and regretted. Oh, wow. God, that's terrible.